Hi, this is Chuck Lohazy, the Senior Performing Arts Critic at 88.1 KDHX in St. Louis, and this is part two of my two-part interview with comic, author, and podcaster Paula Poundstone. I recorded this on April 8th, 2022, but in this part, we're mostly talking about her podcast, the title of which is Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, and that is, of course, pretty much timeless. So, listen, watch, and enjoy. If you need any more information, check out the links right down there in the show description.
Yes.
And this, by the way, is why your podcast is so good. I don't want to leave out your podcast because I've been a regular listener for some time now. Nobody listens to Paula Poundstone. And, there's this spontaneity around that podcast, the interaction with you and Adam Felber and Tony Anita Hall and the irrepressible, here's a vocabulary word, the irrepressible Bonnie Burns. It just, there's just great chemistry, and so much of it is, I'm sure you do editing afterwards, but it has this real sense of spontaneously four friends get together and crack jokes.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Yeah, it started out, it was me and Adam, and then we were in a studio 3 years ago.
Right.
We were in a
apparently
studio.
It was in the ghetto.
Yes, it was really in a scary section, honestly. And I don't know, occasionally, we would occasionally say something to Bonnie, who was there, but wasn't like an on-air, voice, so to speak, because she was so damned noisy. We'd be like doing something, and she'd be over, sitting, crinkling paper and
Captain Crinkle,
chips,
yes.
and she became known as Captain Crinkle. And we only talked to her occasionally, and it was generally nothing more than "Damn it, Bonnie," and then we would occasionally ask for Tony Anita Hull to look up some information for us or something like that. And then when we ended up, we started including Tony more and more. And then when we ended up stuck in our own homes making the podcast, I don't know, it just sort of makes sense to include everybody. And I feel my hope for the audience member is that they feel like they've been welcomed into a treehouse. Mm-hmm. I always say we drop the rope ladder down for the listener to climb up and join us around the fire in the treehouse. And I think that's the right metaphor. It's been fun. Although occasionally I'll, like my friend Jimmy Pardo, who has a podcast that I occasionally do. His is called Never Not Funny. And it's very fun to be on with him. But I remember him telling me that he's been at it for, 3 years ago, I think he told me he'd been at it for 10 years. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. That's a really long time to do a podcast.
I know. I thought of doing one myself, but it was like, I gotta do this every fucking week? Give me a break.
Yeah. It is,
I can't do it.
Yeah. And the other thing about podcasting, somebody described it once as that it was a little bit like the gold rush, because almost they've actually changed the way they define human beings scientifically. They used to say that, we have hair on our bodies, the ability to reason, we give birth instead of laying eggs, we breathe oxygen, we don't eat our young, and now they include, and we have a podcast. That's become part of the scientific description of a human being. And so almost everybody has a podcast. I think in our country alone, I believe there's something like 850,000. Okay, maybe that's not everybody, but it's a lot. And so anyway, somebody described it once as being like the gold rush, that the only people who really made money were the people who sold the picks and shovels. And that, I feel, is an accurate description of
Yeah.
podcasting. I mean,
Starburns Media is probably doing very well, I expect.
I think probably we went into profit maybe at the end of our second year.
Okay.
It was a long.
That's actually not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, Lordy.
I guess. I mean, what the hell do I know? I never tried to make any money off of this. Um,
It's well, yeah. I mean, like so many things, um, you really have to weigh. I mean, I genuinely enjoy doing it. I don't like the pressure of having to be ready by such and such a moment. That part I don't
mhm.
so much enjoy. But I genuinely, once we're on and we're doing it, I mean, especially you think about the during the pandemic, um, and it was so nice to get together with Adam and Bonnie and Tony once a week and laugh. Think of stuff that we thought was funny and laugh. And if I do say so myself, we have come up with the occasional, I mean, just really silly stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
I couldn't agree more. And of
the
course, now you're
sil- the
still doing it from
sillier
your
the
home.
better, in my opinion.
You're still doing it from your homes, right? But you're now doing it via Zoom. Is that
Yeah, yeah. We, I think that Starburns is uh, opening up their recording studios again, and the
right?
idea was floated to me recently that we could, go back. And I did not have a positive reaction because I don't know how this happened. I it is my name on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how this happened, but I have the furthest to drive of any of us to
Ah,
get there. And the time of day that you have to get in the car to get there, um, I have this really, really long drive. I've often completed a whole party size bag of chips by the time I get there. So it wasn't good for my weight.
not
Uh,
really.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I could just as well do it from my
Remote.
house. That
I'll
could be
tell you,
good.
it sounds great. I mean, as a listener, it really doesn't matter to me, and I can't tell whether you're in the same physical space or not, because really you're kind of in the same virtual space anyway. So it doesn't make much difference. I'm vamping here while you get your headphones back in so you can hear what I'm saying.
I just had the most stoogiest thing happen, which is my cat Theo climbed over the stupid wire with the microphone, and
They
it
do
got
that.
all wrapped up in him, and and I can't get rid of him there. Oh my God.
This
Why?
is why you need some earbuds. You need like get AirPods Pro or something, so you can just do it wirelessly.
Yeah, I think I had some, and I think we had a sponsor that was like the wireless uh, earbuds, and I let someone else. I think I let Bonnie have them
Uh-oh.
because I'm not a. I worry about all the earbud stuff because hearing. I mean, now I'm stuck with it because of my work, but hearing is just a couple of hair follicles in way deep in your ear canals, and
Mhm.
when they fall down, it's not like baby teeth. They don't get back up again. So the idea that we're like shoving stuff inside our ears and adjusting the volume of it just seems problematic to me. People who listen to podcasts, listen to you find that a lot of the same products are advertised
Yes.
on a
I've
lot of.
noticed that.
Yeah, because those products have found their niche. They found that it's an effective. I'm sure it's not nearly as expensive as television or radio even,
Mhm.
and clearly it's effective. And they insist that they send you their product, and so you can use it. So you can say, oh, I use it and I think it's great or whatever. But one of the things that happens as a result is that, I don't know, at least once every 2 weeks, some large package shows up at my door, and I'm often not told about it ahead of time. So just like some big thing that I don't know what it is and that I didn't ask for shows up. It's got a bewitched feeling to it, just like all of a
Someone
sudden
wiggled their nose and
yeah, it's just all of a sudden there. All right,
This reminds me because one of the funniest commercials you ever had is, I don't think you have the sponsor anymore, is Manscaping. Remember?
Oh yeah, it was around Christmas time.
Oh,
That came to my house, by the way, with no explanation. I got a package, and you open it up, especially it was around Christmas time, so you're thinking like, oh, maybe my friend sent me something. I open up this thing, and it is a package of men's personal hygiene products, including,
that's a
ladies and
polite way to put
gentlemen,
it. Yes.
a ball washer. I'm not, and I'm like, why is this coming to my house? Why do I need this?
I thought that was only a golf thing.
Yeah, I hoped. Yeah, it wasn't a buffer. Yeah, so yeah, I did. I read copy for men's personal hygiene product, and a lot of the way, because some of it we write part of it, and some of it the company writes part of. You can usually tell. But one of the things was it kept saying stuff like, when your man, you want your man to smell such and with your man, like, oy. I mean, I'm single and I have no desire to partner with anybody. But if I did, I would never refer to someone as my man. Just seems so like, ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
My man, I think I'll keep him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so, oh Lord. Yeah. Advertising is
But I noticed that sponsor didn't last very long, did they?
yeah, well, maybe it was just their holiday push. That's
Okay.
possible. We did one time, okay, because sometimes we make jokes while we're doing them and stuff, and
How could you not with that product? I'm sorry, but
well, yeah. Oh, damn cat! She did it again. He did it again. Oh my God, gotta get rid of that cat. Sometimes, yeah, we make jokes while we're, and some of those jokes are not meant for other people to hear, and they are, we are intending on them being edited out. But one time, for whatever reason, the person who was doing that job didn't realize that.
uh-oh.
And it's funny because we got all these reactions on, from people communicating with us via our email or Facebook or whatever it was, or Twitter. People going, I don't think your advertisers are going to be very happy. Or they would say, or some people's reaction was, that was the funniest ad I ever heard. And we were mortified. We're like, oh no, so we got it fixed as quickly as we could. But yeah, it was interesting that some people felt it was genius and some people felt like, uh-oh. And it was neither. It was neither genius nor uh-oh. It was just unintended.
Yeah, well, just what you do, as a comic on stage and on the podcast. And well, before we wrap up, though, I want to mention, by the way, that I will have in the link in the description for this video, folks, as you're watching, you will see links to Paula's website and to information about her podcast. And also on her website, you can find out about the Poundstone product empire. Speaking of products.
Yes. I'm
Lipstick
quite
Nancy Industries. Yes,
I'm quite the entrepreneur. Yes, Lipstick Nancy Incorporated, also known as what is it we call it? Poundstone Industries. Yeah. Um, yes, there's the things that you would expect. There's my book. It's the totally unscientific study of the search for human happiness is available there. The audiobook of the totally unscientific study of the search for human happiness is available there. My t-shirts, my sweatshirts for Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. What might be fairly unique that's just about to go up on the store. I've been having people just email me if they wanted this product, but we're going to put it up at the store as well, which is my worm castings.
Right.
I'm selling worm waste, which is, they call it black gold for plants. I'm selling worm waste at $4 a pound plus shipping. But okay, this is for the absolute Paula Poundstone fan. And there's only going to be a handful of them. But I also have something that I call the "How the heck does she do it" package, where
Yes.
I will make for the purchaser, the listener, I will make a video that shows some portion of my worm farming process, and also send you a pound of worm castings. And this is the part that really captures the listener's imagination, I will introduce you to the worm that I name after you. And yeah.
Who wouldn't want a worm named after them, I ask you?
Well, once the worms are named, they seem to really take on a certain level of confidence,
They no longer
and
feel
whether-
anonymous.
No, I think it's really, they feel seen.
Yes.
They feel
They
seen.
feel heard. Well, maybe not heard. You left out the Poundstone pussy pillows.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Yes, we have the Poundstone pussy pillows, which are a catnip-filled pouch of with a grommet, so that you can tie it to it and pull it around to make it more intriguing to Puffy. And it has a cat joke on one side, and on the other side, I will personally autograph it to your cat. And actually, one of the joys of that project, and we've been doing that for at least a few years now, a couple of years probably.
Yeah.
But one of the Wendell makes them, not me. I mean, I sign them and I write the jokes and stuff like that, but Wendell makes them. But one of the joys of the project has been learning people's cats' names.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have a cat of the week, in fact, on your show, right?
There is. We do have a cat of the week on my show. Okay, I'm going to screw this up. This is terrible. I can't remember. We had guests not too long ago, Patton Oswald and his wife.
Oh, that was a great segment. Yes, I heard that.
Oh, thank you. They were delightful. But what's terrible is I can't remember Meredith is her first name. I'll be damned if I can remember. Is it Salinger? Might be Meredith Salinger.
Remember either.
Patton
Oswalt, the actor, and his wife,
who's also an actress, and has the longest list of credits of anybody I've ever seen, honestly, because she started when she was like a teenager. But so they were just starting up their own podcast because they're human beings, and so we were talking about podcasting. This was not on the air. That we were just talking before we started recording, and I think. And so we were telling them about our experience and everything. And I think we mentioned Cat of the Week. And Meredith went, "Oh, you have Cat of the Week?"
Why not?
It makes me laugh. I think of that phrase, how she said it every day. She said it with such an odd mixture of, faux envy. Oh my gosh, it was funny. "Oh, you have Cat of the Week?" And we do have Cat of the Week.
Yeah.
And people come up to me in theaters and they'll go, "I've been trying to get my cat. Is there any way you can help me get my cat as Cat of the Week?" And I tell them, right, I'm just honest. I say, it's a lot of responsibility for a cat.
Not every cat is up to it.
Yes, you may think you want that for your cat, but it's a lot.
The next thing you know, you think your cat's a prima donna now. Wait till Fluffy becomes cat of the week.
Honestly, I had my cat Haskell was Miss December in the Purina cat calendar one year. There was no living with her afterwards.
Oh, jeez. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. They start
yeah.
wanting their own manager and shit. It's ridiculous.
Honestly,
Um,
I had to
oh,
pay them a
and
percentage.
now here's the other thing. I hope that there are some musicians who listen to my show or listen to watch my video blog, and of course you have a different house band on your show every week,
Yes,
and it can be like one person or it can be a couple of people.
it's almost always just one person.
Mhm.
I am. I am really hoping to get a bell ringer. Uh,
Well, you had the Crumhorn players, which were great. That was
oh yeah,
terrific.
it's just one guy on the crumhorn. I didn't even know
Yeah,
what a crumhorn was. I
yeah.
had to look it up, and it turns out I really like the crumhorn. We've
It's
had,
an old
yeah,
double
we
reed
just get,
instrument from the Middle Ages. Yeah.
yeah, so we just get one, one instrument. Every now and then, there's someone who plays more than one, and they'll record it in such a way that they can do. Uh,
Right. The
but for the
overdub.
most part, it's just one instrument. I'm sure we've had we've had instruments, as I said, that I never even heard of before, and they've just been great. Um, it's we've had a lot of nobodies, which is what my listeners to my podcast call themselves. We've had any number of nobodies reach out and say that they could do the house band job for the show on an episode, and they've been terrific. And then we've
How do
had
you
people
find your
from
house band?
I don't know, the others do it.
Oh,
We have had people from the LA Philharmonic. We've had I have a lifelong friend, a guy that I've known since I was a little kid, who's he's the conductor of the Alexandria, Virginia Orchestra, and so we've had some
mhm.
members from there. Um, mm, I don't know. People just with Nils Lofgren one episode. Doesn't get much better than that.
That's not shabby.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. So if you're a musician, just contact. What's the email address for the show? It's nobody listens to Paula Poundstone at gmail.com. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Or maybe it's Paula Poundstone. I don't know.
You can
Have
use
it
that, or
in.
you can use Paula at paulapoundstone.com, and it'll get to the correct person. But I do think it's nobody listens to paulapoundstone@gmail.com. That sounds right.
It will be. It's in the description for the video, folks. So look at it there.
Oh,
So
there. Thank you.
if you're a
You
musician
can
and you want to be part of it.
see that I don't trouble my pretty little head with a lot of details.
Well, you have other people. Adam Felber seems to be Mr. Detail on your podcast.
Oh,
He's
he would have you believe such.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I love uh, I love when Bernie Sanders talks to Adam Felber. Compensate.
I think my favorite of those characters is what's her name? Whose husband, the colonel, died. It was a
Oh,
Gouda that
Mrs.
got him.
Culpepper.
The
Yeah,
the
Mrs.
monsters that
Culpepper.
murdered him. Mrs. Culpepper. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. He died of. I can never remember. Is it triotoxism or tyro? It's triotoxism, I think.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a. It was, yeah. It was a blue that bummed him, or something.
It was the no, it was the Gouda that got him.
Yeah.
Triotoxism is poisoning from cheese or other dairy products.
Mm.
And in the case of Colonel Culpepper, it was, excuse me, Captain Culpepper. It was it was the Gouda that got him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's like that's a great character though, because she's like a Tennessee Williams character who's taken too many drugs. I mean,
She's actually based on somebody that I knew who
oh,
was a White House correspondent. She was about who was Helen. She was a contemporary of Helen Thomas,
oh,
and her name was Sarah McClendon, and she was a delightful spitfire of a woman from Tyler, Texas, very smart, and she was a White House correspondent through 10 presidents. And
Wow.
I met her on a show 1,000 years ago, and she said to me, "Well, if you'd ever like someone to show you around Washington D.C., I would love to do that." And I think it was like 5 in the morning the next day. I called her. Well, yeah, I would like that. And so she was my entree to so many things.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah, and she did have that very distinct way of talking, and was really a woman ahead of her time in many ways. She was I don't know if she was she might have been the one who, they had so many of those men's press clubs,
Yeah.
and
You broken the bar or whatever.
yeah, she was either the person who did or the next one behind or whatever. Yeah, she was very there was something kind of revolutionary about her. Very funny, and
Gosh, I'll never be
yeah,
able to listen to Mrs. Culpepper again the same way.
yeah. So now you know. Well, maybe it was so. Yeah, Adam thought she was like from another era. No, she's not from another era. She's from now.
Yeah.
She just has a very distinctive way of talking, and she happened to be married to a Captain Culpepper. Even now, you could have traumatism if you had the wrong cheese.
It was the cheddar that choked him.
It was the Gouda that got him.
No, I thought it was the Emmental that ended him.
No, no,
I'm doing Adam. I'm doing
that
Adam
was her
stuff now.
sister's husband. Yeah, the whole family fell prey.
Paula Poundstone is going to be here in St. Louis on April 30th at the Sheldon, and she's going to be a whole bunch of other places. So whenever you are watching this video, go to one of the links in the show description to find out where's Paula now. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Paula Poundstone? You can find out by just looking at the links here. And there'll also be links here to her wonderful podcast, Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. Paula, thank you so much. This went on way longer than I expected it to, and I'm sorry if I ate into a big chunk of your
No, that's all right. It was really fun talking with you.
Well, that's it for part 2 of my Paula Poundstone interview. But if you haven't already seen it, go check out part 1, where she talks about the amazing and glamorous world of being a traveling comic post-pandemic. Check it out, and we'll see you next time.